right, having some fun here today. And I want to show you something really, really, really important here. And this is distinguishing between what kind of double stops or dyads you're playing and what type of music. It's really all about knowing what the harmony is. I started off playing in a diatonic key of C major, which is very happy sounding. Like you do all these double stops like this, right? It sounds really happy, like, and here. It doesn't sound very bluesy, but yet there's still the double stops that you all know and love. Now, there's a difference between playing over a diatonic 1-4-5 progression like this, 4, 3, then the 5, 4, then the 1. Right? Something like that, right? 4. Then playing the blues, which is more of a into the ear. I mean, it sounds completely different, but I'm playing a 1-4-5, going to the 5, right? It's a completely different sound. Now, what makes that sound? And this is what I think a lot of people kind of leave out. I hate to say that, like teachers, the one thing they never tell you, but it's a whole that I feel like the greatest guitar players out there that are explaining this stuff, you know, on YouTube and everything, and they're just amazing guitar players that are way better than I am, right? But I think that they're leaving out something that a lot of people that are learning should know, and that is, I'm going to go over here to this other camera so you can see this a little bit better right here. Check this out. When you're playing here in the C position, right? Like an E shape, C chord right here. Right? Right? Just like that. And you do this double stop right here, you know, like this. Right? Stuff like that. 4 chord. 5, 4. That's happy sounding, right? That's because I'm playing, everything is in the key of C. C major. So this root note right here, C, is a 1. It's always going to be the 1. This triad, this third note is always going to be the 3. And this fifth is always going to be the 5th. Okay, so all those notes. Right? So when you're going up in double stops, you have to remember that here's the 1, 2, 3, going up the scale, up the C major scale, right? Okay, so it's always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 1, so then your third is always going to follow that in harmony. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Root, again, right there, going like that. Even when you go to the 4 chord, it's the same harmony as C. Going to the F, which is the 4 chord. So when you're going up that scale in F, you got to remember that you're still in the key of C now. You're not playing a blues thing where you're changing keys right there from every chord. So this is really still the 4. This is a 4. Well, it's a 1 of itself, but we won't get too carried away. But it's really the 4 of C here. So you got to think in harmony 4, going up this as double stops. Your 4, then that's really a 5 of C, which is major. So you can see that this dyad double stop, these two, major, major, minor. Now doesn't that look different than here? Over C you have major, minor, 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 major. Now over this 4 chord, you have major going after it. Why? Because there's a 4, then a 5. If you're playing blues, it would be different. And that's what we're going to get into in a second. So you have to remember, playing like a bluegrass type of major, where everything is to the 5, where everything is diatonic to C, it would be like that. Go to the 4 chord. I'm still playing C triads. I'm still playing C double stops. C major scale. Even over the 4 chord. Oops, even over the 4 chord. Sorry. 4. What am I doing here? Sorry. 4 chord. You know. Then over the 5 chord. Same thing. 4. 1. So everything is C. Now, I'm going to get into what the difference is here in a second. Just want to say hello again. Hopefully you're enjoying this, and hit that like button if you are. Now, back to the regular scheduled program. So, now the difference is blues. Different, very different here. Yet the same. You're playing now this, instead of this being a 1, you almost have to think a little bit differently here now. This is no longer a 1 of a harmony. This is a 5. And this is what happens here. Your 5, if you go down the scale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So really, harmonically, you're playing an F major scale. Now, you don't have to really think about that too much over C7, C, but it's really F. So that gives you F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why it's a 5. So all these dyads and double stops are going to be based around, whether you know it or not, an F major scale. That gives you this. See, this 5 goes down a whole step. You couldn't do that with the major. You would be, it wouldn't sound right. You have, in the major, it would be like this. Right? But in blues, you have right, you have that. You have that whole step down. Right, it's not, you don't have that down there. Half step. So really, you have to think a little differently. Now you gotta think, but it's really simple. This is no longer the 1, this is a 5. So if you're thinking harmonically, you know 5, if you know the 7 chords of the diatonic key, you know that 5 is always major, 4 is minor, 4, so you're playing in F, so it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can remember that way all the shapes if you're playing over C. So you're thinking 5, 6, 7, 1. Here's F again. And that's the harmony now. So you won't get confused anymore. When you go to the 4 chord, you're forgetting about F now. Really, it's an F. Well, it's an F, but you're really the 5 chord now. So it's really 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's really B flat. But you don't want to really think about that. You want to just think of F. But harmonically, to do those double stops, you got to think, well, here's a 5. Now here's a 6. Now that's what's different about the 1, 4, 5 and C. Here, this 4 chord has a 2nd degree, has a minor chord next to it. 2 minor chords. Same thing as here. And then the 5 chord. That's how you can get away with doing stuff like this. So now when you do, that was off of these 2 strings. 5, 6, 7, 6, 5. Now when you go up to here, well, what are these 2? Well, you're going to keep counting. So it's no longer a 1, 3, 5, but it's a 5, 7, 2. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. So if you can get that in your head, 7, it's the minor, it's a 7th degree. Next to it would be 8, a root of F, right here, right? let's see, 5, 6, 7. Just like I said, F, key of F, 1. So now you know you have this there, this F. Now the F B1, you have this, would be 1. So now what's different is this G is a minor. Because in F, G is minor, the 2 chord. So that's what's giving you the bluesy sound. So 5, 7, 1, 2. So now you're just doing all this stuff based around this 1 chord is really a 5 in harmony. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whereas the 1 chord, when it's happy and it's C, it's root 7, 6, 5, 4. That F is a 4 chord, really, of a happy C. You know, in harmony diatonic with that. But in blues, this thing is C. It's based on a 5. So now you have 5, 6 is always minor, 7 is always minor. So you have that to work with. And you also have down a half step. Right there too. But most importantly, check out this riff. Now in blues, you always have that minor to major thing like this, right? So I can slide into that, hit this. So slide into the 7th here. 1 chord, 2, 1 chord, 7, off of this root here. Now we go to the 4 chord, same thing. Here's the major chord right there. But this is really 1, it's really 5, 6, 7. So I know I have 7, I have a 1 right here next to it, B flat, 2. So I'm doing the same thing. Back to the C. Now to the D 5 chord. I mean the G chord, 5 chord right there. Same thing, I'm looking, here's the root. Well, it's really a 5. 5, do that little slide thing. Actually, no, I'm playing, here's the 5. I'm doing it down here. Here's the 3rd here. The 3rd of this chord. But I'm thinking harmonically, you get that 7th degree, 7, root, really at the key of C now, over the G chord right here. Back to the C. Alright, so hopefully you get that. It could be a little tricky right there, but it's so well worth understanding this. Really, all it comes down to is knowing the 7 chords of the diatonic key. I always talk about that. So, and distinguishing that difference. So when people are playing all these little beautiful, you know, it all depends, you know, what it is that you're going for right there. Are you going for a happy major sound of double stops, where it's more like, are you going for a bluesier sound, which is more like this? It's just a matter of playing that flat 7 in there, which is a Mixolydian mode. Okay, that's all it really is. You're playing the Mixolydian mode. It's not even necessarily called a dominant scale, because if you call it a dominant scale, it's a bit ambiguous, really, because there's many dominant scales. There's Phrygian dominant. You know what I mean? It's like all kinds of. I mean, that's a dominant scale, but you're not playing that, right? So a Mixolydian is only one thing. Mixolydian mode is only one thing, and that's what you're playing. Over every scale. 5 chord. So just knowing that when you're playing in C, blues, this is we relate this to like a 5 chord. You know it's a 1 of itself, but it's a 5 in harmony. And when you know it's a 5, well, you know where the 5 is in the spectrum. Well, it's 5 is, there's a 4 is a whole step down, 6 is a whole step up, minor, 7 chord, 8. is an F. 8 root being the key of F. So if you're playing, like I said, playing C7, you're really in the key of F major. Because C is the 5 of F. But I don't think of the F at all. I'm never thinking of the F. All I'm thinking of is C, but it's the 5. It's related to a Mixolydian mode, not a major scale in blues. So it allows you to know the harmony of all that. So you have C, so it's really the 5, the 6, the 7, the root. See, that G is minor. If you're playing a C Ionian, which is a major scale, it's a mode, Ionian, that G would be major. See that? G major. It's like the 5 minor. People talk about 5 minor. That's playing over a blues thing. We're playing C. The 5 minor would be over C right there. Playing the 5 minor. Bluesy, isn't it? And it's all because you have to know just the simple 2 things. Double stops or dyads, which are 2-note chords, like triads are 3, dyads would be just 2. Double stops. The only difference is between happy Ionian mode is that you're off the 1. You're basing it off the 1. Mixolydian, you're basing it off the 5. So now this is a 5. It's a 1 for it to be happy. It's a 5 for it to be blues. And every chord you're changing with it. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 7, 6, 5. Oops. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 7, 2, 1, 7, 6. And the D. 5 chord G. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 7, 6. I get a little confused sometimes, but look. D right here. I mean G. G. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 1, 7, 6. 5. Am I out of tune? A little bit. Just had this thing set up, by the way. Not set up. It was buzzing like crazy, and I brought it in, and just Matt over at 30th Street Guitars just did a little tweak and bowed the neck a little bit. So the action's a little bit higher, intonation's a little bit out more, but it's not buzzing at all. All right, so pretty good stuff, and we're not going to be too long with this. This is something I'm doing pretty new, just straight into my Fender Deluxe amp. I'm not going direct into the system, taking advantage of this time where I could use my amp in my apartment here. Hopefully it sounds good to you. And yeah, I think this is something important that you should really just be aware of. Are you playing Ionian? Are you playing Mixolydian? And in blues, you're playing Mixolydian. Your chord is not a 1. It's really, harmonically, it's a 5 chord. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Of each blues, 1, 4, 5, harmonically, you're playing a 5 chord in the back of your mind. I mean, if it sounds right, that's what I'm doing right there. You could disagree with me all you like on your thought process is, which is a great question. I mean, how do you think of the blues when you're playing it? I know you probably have your own thought process of how you get by with it, and that's all great, but this is something to think about. And hopefully it filled in the gap. It might have filled the hole to your playing and to your thought process of that. So remember, a major progression is like Ionian. A blues progression is going to be, the root will be Mixolydian, the root's Ionian in a happy type of blues thing. And so, yeah, tomorrow I'm taking off for like 3 days, going on a little tour with the ABBA band, playing in New Hampshire, Derry, New Hampshire, at the Tupelo Music Hall. Tupelo. It's crazy. On Wednesday and Thursday night, tomorrow nights and Thursday night. And then Friday morning, shooting over to Barnstable County Fair, East Falmouth, Massachusetts, for another gig there. So 3 shows, then back on Saturday. So yeah, I will be doing my live on Sunday. I go live every Sunday right here at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on this channel. And we do all kinds of cool stuff, I think. And hopefully you do too. So come back and hang out with me there. We're going to be going live, and we do stuff, and we chat back and forth. You can answer your questions about anything. And I would be remiss if I didn't just give my condolences to the Osbournes family. Ozzy passed away today, and God, it was just terrible news. I cried a little bit on the subway when I heard that, because Ozzy was like my biggest influence as a little kid. I mean, at 10 years old. See, I mean, I knew of Sabbath earlier, when Iron Man, as a kid, Paranoid. And when Ozzy came out with Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, I just, those album covers were so iconic, and the playing. I mean, I begged my mom. I remember, I think it was 1980, I don't know, 82 or something. Like, I had my boombox, and I was like, the only thing missing from my boombox was Ozzy's cassette. And I wanted it so bad. I had to hear it. It was like, that's all you could hear music back in those days. You had to go buy the cassette or the record, and or 8-track if you go even further back. But I had to have that cassette because I heard the sounds on the radio maybe a few times, and I was like, it was like I needed to hear that sound. And it was Randy Rhoads and Ozzy and those first couple records. When I finally bought the record, I mean, I burnt it out. I wore it out. So, and then, from then on, it just became, Ozzy was just a legend, and his music is just so memorable, so amazing. He set the path for so many musicians and songs and hard rock and heavy metal that it's just Ozzy, the Liberace of rock. My friend Ronnie told me years ago, the Liberace of rock. Oh my God, that is pretty funny. But man, God bless him. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Really sad to hear that. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. And I do have a guitar course, Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. You can check that out in the description. I would really appreciate that too. So I love you. Be cool, be kind, be cherry. And if you want to see a video on the 7 chords of the diatonic key, which relates to all this stuff, I'll put that right up there for you. All right? Love yous. Peace. And I'll see you on Sunday. Ciao.